I can start with the chapter. Okay, so let's start with it. Here, first we are going to see in this chapter, the chapter name itself says the Constitution, the working of Constitution. First, before going to the concept of democracy, we have to understand that what is Constitution. Here, till now, you have studied the overview of the local government, values, philosophies of the Indian Constitution, as also the governing structure created by the Constitution and India's place in international relations. That is that till now, you have studied civics. In that, what you all have studied? About the local government. Now, what is local government? Gram Panchayat, Jilla Parishad, municipal corporation, all these are the local governments. You studied about the society, about the philosophies, values, and the various terms, right? That was the civics. Here we are going to deal with the political science, which is slightly different from the civics. You are not going to study here about the society. You are going to study about the government, the working structure, the principles, the directives, all these you are going to study. So here in this chapter, that is the Constitution. The Indian Constitution has declared its objectives. Let's understand the meaning of the Constitution. Now, the first question that, not question, you can say that the Constitution. Constitution in Hindi, we call it as Bharatiya Samvidhan. You all must have heard, basically from the news channels and all, right? So, Constitution in Hindi, it is known as Bharatiya Samvidhan. Here, who is the main architect? The main architect is Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. He is the main architect. Here, under his guidance, we have formed the Constitution. Not we, the cabinet, the great people who worked under the great Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar. Under him, they formed this book. Now, the Constitution is a book. Now, it is which book? It is a book in which it is written how to form the government, how to run the country. It is full of rules and regulation, how the administration is going to work. Basically, it is a guiding principle. Goals are mentioned in it, objectives are written, and most important, anyone who breaks the rules, laws which is written in the Constitution and the person breaks it, he is punished, whether that is the citizen or the government. Everyone is punished who doesn't follow the Constitution. So it is very, very important that we should follow the rules, laws, regulations, principles, values, which is mentioned in the Constitution. Okay. So that is the basic principle and laws of a nation, state or social group that determine the power and duties of the government and guarantee the certain rights to the people. So just now we try to understand the meaning. Here it is what all things are written. Basic principles are written and laws of nation. Then state or social group that determine the power and the duties of the government. That whether it is a state or a social group, that is a society group, which is there in the society. So that the powers and the duties are mentioned in the Constitution for the both, and it guarantees certain rights to the people. Certain rights to the people, that is, everyone knows that the government is having certain powers. Certain powers he is having rights. Similarly, citizens are also provided with certain rights. Where it is written? It is written in the Constitution. Clear? Now, okay, students. Sorry, the second slide is not able to display. So here, the objectives declared to establish the constitution. It is based on the two objectives. Now, what are the two objectives? The Indian constitution has declared its objective to establish a secular democratic republic. So the first objective is secular government and the second objective is the democratic republic. Now let's understand the meaning of secular. Secular means each and every citizen having the right to follow the religion, any religion. In fact, nobody is forced that, you should follow this religion only. No, you should follow that religion only. No, it is not like that. Our country is a secular country. Now, many of you must have the confusion of what is religion. Religion, for example, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Jain, Parsi, Bodh, all these are the religion. So here, all must be knowing that we are from the different religion and we can freely follow our religion and nobody is forced to do that. Okay. Now, next one is the democratic republic. Democratic republic means people have the power to represent. It is not the earlier this one. Our government was having this system that monarchical system, king system. The king's son will only become the king, then his son, then his son. And it was keep on going. Okay, but now it is not like that. We are having the democratic form of government where that any person can represent themselves. And we the common people are having the power to choose our representative. Any person who is capable and he thinks that yes, he can bring some improvement in the society and he is having the support of the people, he can represent he can be the people's representative. All this, the next one, that is it has also made extremely important provision to ensure that the citizens should get the justice, their freedom is protected. The constitution is seen as a means through which progressive developed society based on the social justice and equality will be established. Now, after the two objectives, secular and the democratic republic, then the next one, that is the provision. That another thing which is added to the constitution, the provision has came that to ensure that the citizens should get justice and their freedom is protected. Now, citizens should get justice. It doesn't mean that only in the court you get the justice. That is a social justice, then economic justice, and justice in many ways. Everyone, no one is higher, no one is lower, rich, poor, no discrimination on the basis of the religion and caste. So it's not like that higher caste will get the justice, lower caste won't get the justice, rich will get the justice, poor won't get the justice. It's not like that. Okay. And then there is the freedom is protected. Freedom, there are many freedom, that is right to speech, expression, movement, right to freedom of education, freedom of press, so many freedom we have. Okay, and various other freedom is also there. So each and every freedom is protected by constitution. Anyone's, if I'll try to harm anyone's freedom, I'll try to control anyone's
Sneha ma'am.
freedom. Yes, ma'am.
Sneha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Sneha ma'am, you are not audible.
I am not audible. Now?
Hello.
Now am I audible?
Yeah, now you are audible. Yes.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Okay, then that people should get the justice and the freedom should be protected. The constitution is seen as a means through which a progressive developed society based on the social justice and equality will be established. Now, what the main aim was there while forming the constitution? While forming the constitution, it was thought that this is a constitution means that which is a progressive developed society based on social justice and equality. You must be knowing earlier there were many types of discrimination. People's exploitation was there. Why? Because there was no social justice. There was no equality. But right now we have social justice in society. Each and every person is equal. Each and every person will get the justice. Rich, poor, there is no discrimination on the basis of religion, caste, race, creed, regions, language, and uh, and many types of inequality was there, which is now doesn't exist thanks to our constitution, due to which we are slowly able to form the equality in this society. Okay, and the next thing I would like to say that constitution is not still. Okay, constitution is written in we are adopted and implemented in 1950, so still it is like that only. No, constitution is never still. According to the change in the society, changes in the constitution also come, and those changes is known as amendments. Yes, students, you can write down the term. It will help you. Amendment means changes in the constitution. During before independence, the situation was different. Now the situation is different. So it is very necessary to make the changes in the constitution. Okay. Here, let's see the important terms. The constitution came into force on 26th January 1950. And since then, the government has been working in accordance with the principles of the government, with the principles of the constitution. So here we will take a brief overview of the wide-ranging nature of Indian democracy, the important changes that have taken in the political process. Now here, the formation of constitution was started before independence only. Before 1947 only, we started preparation. Yes, ma'am?
Hello, Sneha ma'am.
Yes, yes. Hello? Hello, yes, ma'am?
Hello, Sneha ma'am, you are not audible again.
Again. I'm holding my mic near only, but okay. Ma'am, just give me 1 minute. I'll try with a different mic. Just give me 1 minute.
Hello, Sneha ma'am.
Hello, ma'am. Now am I audible?
Sneha ma'am, you're not audible still.
Hello, now? Hello? Hello? Ma'am, I can't hear you. Hello?
Hello, Sneha ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm not able to hear you. Actually, it's raining heavily, na? So that's why network
Yes,
issues.
yes. Now you're audible. Yes.
Now I'm audible? Okay.
Yes.
Actually, here it's raining very heavily. Okay. So, yes, students. So before our formation of constitution was started, much before the independence, then the Constitution of India was passed and adopted by the assembly when on 26th November 1949. Students, either you write it down or mark it in your textbook. These terms, it is very, very important objective point of view. Yes. Then after that, after 26th November 1949, just after 2 months, on 24th January 1950, last meeting of Constitution Assembly, the Constitution was signed and accepted. Okay, so 26th November 1949, it was only adopted. After 2 months, the Constitution was signed and accepted. Then on 26th January, after 2 days, 26th January 1950, the Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950. Since then, the government has been working in accordance with the principles of the Constitution. So, which day? 26th January 1950, it is a day from when we started following the principles of Constitution. And from that day, we have not done anything which is against the Constitution, and people who have done, that person is punished. Okay. So here, now we'll move on to the concept of democracy. Students, if you have any doubt related to the concept of Constitution, please write it down. After the today's class, I'll take your questions. Okay. And this Constitution, it primarily focus on 3 areas, that is democracy, social justice, and judicial system. Let's see on democracy. Okay. Here. Now, what is democracy? As I have explained earlier, that democratic republic, it is just that, okay, that all citizens will get the opportunity to represent themselves to in the formation of the government, in the participation, and many of you all, it comes in your mind after hearing the democracy, for the people, by the people, and yes, so it comes into your mind. Here, democracy, it is a form of a government in which the people have the authority to choose the governing legislation. That here, either from the lower level, or it is from the higher level. Each and every level, people have the power to choose their governing legislation. Here, in the democracy, so you're all citizen. It is not only the representative structure, it is also the important part of our government. Under democracy, the first concept, that is the political maturity. Here, Democracy does not merely imply a representative structure. The essence of the representative system is to integrate the principles of democracy in actual practice. Once this is done, democracy becomes an integral part of the political life of the society. So here, according to the Indian people, we have the direct representation in the parliament, state legislation, local government, and holding the free and fair election at a regular intervals. So democracy, it is not only that democracy doesn't mean that, okay, we have got the representation, so only we can just represent ourselves, we can choose the government. No. The essence of representative is the integral principle of democracy in the actual practice. The real essence as in that is which is the important part of democracy, that the time when we really practice the democracy in the society by taking the participation, by following the principles of democracy. That is the real democracy. Till the time we won't practice the democracy, the real essence is not in that. And the time when we start actually practicing the democracy, it becomes an integral part of our political life of the society. Now, what is integral part? Integral part means the part which we can't separate from our life. You only just imagine that, can we separate citizens, Indian citizens and democracy? No. It is impossible. We can't separate it. It is really very, very important part of our life. Then, under this, that is, accordingly, the Indian people have the direct representation in the parliament, state legislation, and the local government. There is no hierarchy. Okay, now you will be at first you have to be selected on a local government, then state legislature, then parliament. No, directly you can go to the parliament representation also, state legislature also, and local government also. Now, many of you must be having the confusion of what is local government, not what is state legislature. Let's understand this. Local government. Local government means that at a local level, like this one, Nagar Sevak, corporator, or mayor. All these representations are selected at a local level. That is on the basis of the city area or the city. Okay. Then state legislature means when we select our CM, chief minister, that is at the state legislature level. Like that is, you can also say the MLA. That is at the state legislature level. Then the parliament. Parliament means at the central level, when we select the MPs from which our PM is selected. That is at the central level. So how we elect them? By holding the free and fair election at a regular interval. Is an important indicators of India's successful democracy. Here in India, in every 5 years, we take the election, which is away from the anyone's control. It is free and fair at a proper regular interval, which represents the successful democracy. And actually, Indian democracy is the successful democracy. Why? Because we are having a large population. Then people's participation also becomes higher. So due to the participation, it becomes successful. Then the increasing participation of the people in the political process and the political competition shows the Indian democracy has become successful to a great extent. Is that clear? Now, here, as in the beginning only, I have mentioned that we are provided with some rights, and those rights are protected by the Constitution. No one can take away our rights. Okay, so right means that is hak. No one can take away from you. It is your birthright. Yeah. Now, right to vote. Everyone must be knowing the meaning of vote. That is when we choose our representative, we have to give our vote. By the medium of voting, we will able to choose our representative. So here, the Indian Constitution had made the provision of right to vote for the adults. In the pre-independence period, several provisions existed which restricted the right to vote. That is, in our Indian Constitution, the provision is there, a right to vote. That each and every person has the right who is above 18 years of age, earlier which was 21. Then later on, the age got reduced, which is from 21 to 18. So anyone who is above 18 years, they will get the right to vote to choose their representative. Okay, but in the earlier, in the pre-independence period, pre-independence means before independence. Okay, students, pre-independence means before independence, post-independence means after independence. So before independence, everyone was not getting the opportunity to vote. Many of them were deprived. In not only in India, in many countries. Some places, women were not allowed to vote. Some places, the lower classes people were not allowed. Only the higher class people were allowed to vote. Then lower caste people were not allowed. Higher caste people were allowed. So many things were there. But later on, that is after independence, we formed such a provision in which that each and every person, it's not that only the higher class people will get. Each and every religion, caste, race, creed, gender, each and every person who is about 18 years of age will get the participation to vote. Okay, so all such provisions were cancelled after independence, and the Indian Constitution guaranteed adult suffrage. Now, the meaning of the term adult suffrage, that is meaning that is having right to vote. Adult suffrage means having right to vote equally to both men and women. So, such provisions have made India's largest democracy in the world. India has the largest number of voters compared to any other democratic nation. This change is not only quantitative but also qualitative, as a new political parties are emerging with the active support of the young voters. These parties represent various expectations of people and compete in the political sphere. So here what they are trying to say, that India is having the largest constitution. Okay, students, mark this term, that India is having the largest constitution. So with the largest constitution, we are having the largest number of voters also. Why? Because our population is also large. Okay, so it is not only about that only the number is increasing, that is a quantitative change. No, not only there is a quantitative changes is coming, but also the qualitative changes is also coming. More and more representatives are coming up. More and more voters are taking the initiative to think who is the right representative, away from the biasness. So it is all away from it, and the new political parties are emerging day by day. You all can just think about it. Earlier, only one political party was there, Congress. Now, so many political parties are coming up. Don't you think so? A qualitative change is also coming up, right? So these parties represents various expectations of the people and compete in the political sphere, right? Like for example, if any political party is from Gujarat, they will represent the problems and grievances of Gujarat. If the political party is from Maharashtra, they will present their problem and grievances. So this way, the development becomes easy. Okay. Now, decentralization of democracy. Before going to the concept of decentralization, let's understand the meaning of centralization. What is centralization? Centralization means that all power is at one place. Like, for example, in India, local government or the state government, no one is having any power. कुछ भी नहीं है उनके पास, कुछ भी power नहीं है उनके पास. All the power is in the hand of the central government, that is PM or president, you can say. They are having the all power. So just think about the situation. If all the power is at one place, there is a high chances of misusing of the power. There is a chances of that the person can become the dictator. He can dominate us. He can take a wrong decision. So centralization of power is not a good idea. That is why our constitution makers, they came up with the concept of decentralization of power. Decentralization of power is central to the democratic government. Decentralization of power is a central to the democratic government. Students, focus over here. It is slight confusing term that decentralization of power is a central to democratic government. Democratic government means people's government. So power is with whom? Power is with the government. Power is with the people, not at one place. Okay, so decentralization controls the misuse of power and also creates opportunities for political participation for the common people. Now, if the this power is at one place, is only at the central level, how people will participate, how people will give their view, how people will give their suggestion, who is going to point out the mistakes? No one. So that is why when there is a system of decentralization of power, the people's participation increases, especially the common people's participation. The directive principles of the state policy include the provision for the democratic decentralization. Now, directive principles are the principles which gives directions, the way to the government for the working. Okay, so the directive principles of the state policy include the provisions for the democratic decentralization. The concept of democratic decentralization is written in the directive principles. One such important provision is regarding empowering the local self-government, making genuine democratic governance in reality. Local self-government, here in decentralization, local self-government body, that is Gram Panchayat at a village level. You might have heard about Sarpanch, Panchayat, right? So all these are the local self-government body, which is really which is really plays very important role. After independence, several attempts were made towards a democratic decentralization. One such attempt is 73rd and 74th Amendment to the Constitution. Students, I hope you remember, and I told you to write the meaning also. The amendment meaning. Amendment means change. So here 73rd and 74th means 73rd change or 73rd amendment. Okay, so this was the 73rd and 74th amendment to the Constitution, which gave a constitutional status to local self-governing institution and also increased their power. Earlier, local self-government body like Panchayat and all, they were not having so much power. But slowly, as we move on towards the decentralization, the power of the panchayat system also increased. And finally, in the 73rd and 74th Amendment, local self-government body got the power and the value and the position also. Okay. Now, the next one. Right to information, which we also call it as RTI. Right to information, RTI 2005. Now, what does it mean? Why it is written 2005? Why? Because the right to information came into force in 2005. ज़्यादा पहले नहीं आया था, अभी आया. Okay, so here now, what is RTI? Citizen empowerment is essential condition of democracy. It is necessary to create opportunities for citizens to participation and interaction with the government. Increased communication between citizens and the government helps in strengthening the democracy and in building a relationship of trust between them. Citizens have the right to vote about functioning of the government. The government of India have the right to information to the citizens of India. Now, here, when the government gave us the right of right to vote, when we are forming the government, then we also have the right to ask the question. Okay, like for example, if nearby your house any road construction is going on, and that road construction is going on from past 2 years and it is not completing only, वो रोड बन ही नहीं रहा है, सिर्फ 2 साल से कंस्ट्रक्शन हुए जा रहा है. तो what you can do as a responsible citizen, okay, as a responsible citizen, you can file a RTI. RTI, that is a application. You can file it, you can send it to the department by asking the question, and you will get the full-fledged report of that why the construction is delayed, how many people are involved, what is the budget for that, and so many things. From top to bottom, each and every information you will get about that concept. Okay, so that is very, very important. So here, the government of India the next important thing, earlier when people used to file the RTI, they used to write their name. Especially, all these are specially done by the journalists and all reporters. So many journalists used to file it. So they used to write their name. So their life becomes into danger. Why? Because name is there. That is why. But now here the names are anonymous. Means your name will not be shown. Or without writing the name, you can write file the RTI. So by taking the measure of your security, your safety, the whole information will be provided to you. Okay. So India, to ensure the transparency and accountability, which are the hallmarks of the good governance. Now, what was the main intention of this RTI? Because there should be a transparency between the government and the citizens. When there is a transparency, the trust will increase. And when the trust will increase, the working becomes easy. The accountability will become the hallmark of the good governance. So democratic reforms are considered as a rights of citizens. Here, the right to information has made the government more transparent and has reduced the element of secrecy in the working of the constitution. After the year 2000, the whole approach towards a democratic reform has changed. Democratic reforms are considered as a rights of citizens. Accordingly, citizens in India have got the right to information, education, and food security. These rights have strengthened the democracy in India. Here, that is, after the year 2000, the whole approach towards the democratic reforms has changed. Many views got changed about the democracy. The main focus went into that the citizens should get mainly these three rights. That is about the right to information, right to education, and food security. So food security as in people who are below the poverty line, they will get the this one grains, food, in which commonly we call it as ration shop. So basic things like rice, dal and all, you get at a very lower subsidized rate, so that people at least should get the food. So all these rights are provided. Okay. So students, here we are done with the democracy part. The next concept will be social justice and equality, which we will complete in our next session. Let's have a quick revision, whatever we have completed today. Yes. Today, we have completed with the meaning of constitution. So what is constitution? Constitution is basically the book in which the principles, the laws, the governing structure, guiding principles, goals, objectives are written, which we have to follow. It is, then we have seen the meaning of constitution, the basic principles of that, powers and duties, the objective on which it is based, that is the secular and the republic government. Then it also, from the constitution, the social justice and the freedom is protected. Equality is maintained. Then the dates of the constitution, how it formed: 26 November 1949, when it was adopted; 24 January 1950, when the constitution was signed and accepted; 26 January 1950, when we started following the principles of constitution, that is the implementation. Then we have seen the meaning of democracy. Then the concept of political maturity, how common people gets a right for their representation. Right to vote. Each and every citizen is having the right to vote who is above the age of 18. Decentralization of democracy, how the powers are divided among the various levels. local government, state government, and then the central government. Then right to information. That is how we can maintain the transparency and good communication between the citizen and the government. Okay. Then now evaluation. Here, Indian democracy is considered as the largest democracy in the world. Give me the reason. Ma'am, can you just unmute the people who raised their hands? Yes, who is going to tell me the reason why Indian democracy is considered as the largest democracy in the world? The reason is in one word. Hello? Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Students. Ma'am, just unmute the people who are...
Students, unmute yourself.
Hello? 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 Yes. Yes, you are audible, but your voice is breaking.
Teacher, can I give the answer?
Yes, yes, dear, you can.
The Indian Constitution had made the provisions of right to vote for abused. The Indian Constitution guaranteed abused suffrages by giving them rights to vote.
You can just give me the answer in one word.
The age of 18.
Your voice is breaking. You can just give me the answer in one word. The answer is in one word only. Yes, anyone else would like to try? Okay, fine. I'll give the answer. We are having the largest democracy in the world. Why? Because our population is also very high. We are the second largest population. First is China. But China is not the largest democracy. Why? Because China doesn't follow the concept of democracy. They follow the concept of communism. So second largest population is India, and India is following the democratic concept. So that is why India is the largest democracy in the world. Right? Am I clear? Okay, next question. Secrecy in the working government has increased due to the right to information. Who is going to give me the reason? Okay, I'll give. Why? Because the transparency level is also increased. That's why. Now, you are having the homework and you have to do it. Complete this homework and submit it to your class teacher. Sorry, your history civics teacher. Okay, what you have to do, you have to collect more information on the background of making the constitution. Like in the dates and the years part, I have explained about the 26th November 1949, then the 24th January 1950, 26th January 1950. So apart from these dates, there are many background information which are available. You need to collect. Like, for example, who was the chairman of drafting committee, who was the president, how many members were involved before partition and after partition, then important dates and years. All these information you have to collect and submit it to your history teacher. Okay? You will get marks on this. So don't forget to do it. Complete it without fail. Okay? So students, any question from your side? Any doubt you have?
Teacher, what is democracy?
Democratic.
Yes.
Just now I have explained. It's okay. Democracy, that is a republic government. Like democracy means where we are people, common people having the right to choose their government, their head.
Sorry, teacher. Teacher, not
Yes.
democracy. I ask what is means by democratic.
It is one and the same. Democratic and
Okay,
democracy is same. It's not different. Okay.
It's different only.
No. Cracy, C-Y, or cratic, T-I-C. So the meaning same becomes same. It is a system, democratic government or democracy, where we choose our head and each and every common people having right to represent themselves. Anyone can become the head. Not necessarily only this so and so person can become the head. Democracy, that all the power is in the hand of the people, not in the hand of the government. Is that clear?
Yes, teacher. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you, bacha. Any other doubt? Anyone else? Hello?
Ma'am, we can wind up here.
Okay, ma'am. If students are not having any doubt, then I am done with the class.
Actually, 3 students are raising their hands, but they are not unmuting themselves. I'm giving them the permission, they are not unmuting.
Okay. Okay, their voice is also breaking.
Yeah, because of network, maybe.
Yes. Actually, weather is not good, na? That's why. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
So, shall we wind up with the class? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
So much.